Hello, everyone. Please excuse the ceiling fan in the background. I know that's probably annoying while you're listening to this, but try to bear with me here. This video is going to be kind of related to the topics that have been being passed around in the last couple of weeks, specifically about conservative politics. But I'm pretty much done debating with other MRAs. I think enough evidence is out there, and this has been discussed enough for people to make their own decisions on these topics. But I do want to add, in the general sense, and I want to touch on the whole Rand Paul debacle with him endorsing Mitt Romney. And Ron Paul making the statement or advising his supporters to, quote, be respectful in regards to the Romney camp and that kind of thing. And, I think this is just, even though I have supported Ron Paul in the past, I've always done so with a grain of salt because, to be perfectly honest, I trust no politician fully, and I don't even bother to vote anymore. It's just a waste of time to me. But if the Ron Paul camp can be brought to heel, so to speak, and now we see, this utter betrayal, and in the Ron Paul camp, his supporters are pretty pissed off about this, and we can see this betrayal where Rand Paul is endorsing an establishment politician after all this talk, from both Ron Paul and Rand Paul about defeating the establishment, and being the true conservative constitutionalist and so on and so forth. And I find it funny that now they appear to be warming up to Mitt Romney, which couldn't be more establishment. This is the end result of perpetuating this lesser of two evils mentality when it comes to government, the current government we're under. A lot of people are very reluctant to the point where it's reaching doublethink levels. They're very reluctant to admit that this government is just 100% corrupted, morally bankrupt, financially bankrupt, and ethically bankrupt. And, so they'll do anything to kind of rationalize away the utter failure of this government to produce any real politicians of substance. And even, their best hope, Ron Paul, is now showing himself to be cozying up with establishment politicians such as Romney. So it's another joke. And these people need to keep believing in the system because they've invested so much time and energy and belief into it that they just they adopt a double thinking rationale. And I don't know if people remember the definition from Orwell's book, 1984, of doublespeak, and I can't quote it word for word, but I'll give you my best paraphrasing of it. And I believe it was defined as holding two contradictory beliefs at any one given time, and adopting one belief when it's convenient and completely forgetting that belief when it's contradicted, and summoning up the other contradictory belief and adopting that for as long as it's convenient. And this is the process that we're seeing. We're seeing people essentially admit, I mean, they actually don't even have a problem admitting that the system is pretty much done for, corrupted. That corruption is inextricable from the system itself. And then at the same time, they say, well, maybe if we just, go along to get along, lesser of two evils. Maybe if we just vote for the party that's going to screw us over less. And see, that's how they rationalize away getting screwed over by the politicians they vote for. I mean, it's in the language itself. Listen to what they say. Maybe we'll get screwed over less by voting for Mitt Romney because Obama's so bad. And this same thing happens on the left, they'll say, well, to avoid another Bush, we'll vote for Obama. It's just a bunch of the dissonance that is required to hold these two simultaneously contradictory beliefs is pretty astounding. And this is what passes for politics here in America. So people can understand, or at least the people seeing it for what it is can understand why it's just hopeless to work within that system. Even if you have a candidate like Ron Paul, I mean, look at what's happening now. Look at what's unfolding. It doesn't surprise me in the least that they're now in, not Ron openly yet, but that's what it's looking. That's how it's looking. Endorsing Mitt Romney. What a joke. What an absolute joke. There goes all that patriot talk and independence talk and freedom party talk. It's all down the drain because now the two icons of this movement are showing themselves to be just as willing to toe the line, to toe the party line. It's really pathetic. But I guess people need to hold on to that childish notion of their skewed political reality that isn't in any way, shape, or form indicative of the true nature of American politics. That being utter failure to communicate the wishes of the people, to implement the wishes of the people in any meaningful way. This is why, as I've said before, voter turnout is pretty much dropping consistently. You know, year after year, election after election, it's consistently dropping, and that's indicative not of an apathy. I mean, I think the actual definition of apathy is a voter base that continues to do the same thing over and over again, while garnering no positive result. I think, but what's the quote? I'm paraphrasing this as well, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And this is exacerbated by the fact that the whole cycle of doing the same thing over and over again, in terms of the presidential election, is a 4-year cycle. So it's not like you can kick these people out after the year one when they're not doing, they're not implementing the wishes of the public. You have to wait 4 years. And so these people, they say, well, this time we'll vote for Romney, this time we'll vote for McCain. The cycle continues, nothing gets done, and they do it all over again. And they have these talking points. Well, if you don't vote, you can't talk, this, that. But it's the intelligent thing to do, to understand that a vote for Romney is a vote for Obama, and a vote for Obama is a vote for Romney. This is the political philosophy that needs to be adopted. There is no difference. There is no major difference when you really look at it. You can say that the left doesn't do this, the left doesn't do that, but I don't know if I can really expand much more on it. But when you look at these two camps, these two ideological camps that make up American politics, you'll notice that, sure, they have their wedge issues, but they behave essentially the same. There's no real difference. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. I had to pause it and take care of some stuff. So if I'm, if I went completely off topic from what I was saying before, please excuse me. It's just a pretty busy day today. So, anyways, the point I was trying to make is that people will hold on to their political pretend world for as long as it takes. And I think that in the end, the only thing that's really going to wake people up is some sort of collapse of the system, some sort of collapse of the system that brings to light the utter failure of the political climate, or the political status quo, to render any kind of assistance or rule of law, or anything like that. When people really see how shaky the system truly is and how much it's built on lies and deception, when people's daily lives are interrupted, that's when you're going to start to see a change and realization. And unfortunately, by then it might be too late. People, of course, have been saying that a collapse is coming forever and ever. And I don't know when it's going to come, or even if it's going to come. For all we know, America could just gradually decline, and nothing fantastical. Nothing, no one event is going to mark the end of America or the end of Western civilization. But we all know we're in a decline. We all know we're not going to get back to our glorious heyday, as these people portray it. We're never going to make the strides in scientific achievement that we once did. We're on our way out, and there's going to be a new power coming in. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But people will rigidly adhere to these political beliefs because to reject them, to eschew them, is something that you can hold it akin to you can relate it to somebody casting away 10 years of religious indoctrination. These people are essentially indoctrinated into this political process that they themselves, it's to such a degree that they themselves perpetuate the system by appropriately and when necessary rationalizing away the failures of that system. They do it automatically. They don't even realize they're doing it. And of course, no political process is going to be perfect, but this political process, excuse that dog barking in the background, it's so fucking annoying. Sorry to sound so damn pissed off at this dog, but it just never shuts up. Anyway, this political system is, it takes a lot for people to finally reject it, but once you do, it's easy to identify just what's wrong with it. In the last, 30 years, none of these so-called wedge issues that these parties surround themselves and organize themselves over have ever been resolved. Abortion still just as controversial, just as bickered over as when Roe v. Wade made it legal. These things aren't going to change. No real Republican or Democratic victory over the other party has manifested itself in since the culture wars or whatever started. These things are just going to continue on and on, continue to be bickered about with no real solution in sight. This is how the political process in America works. You have tiny little victories here and there. One bill will get passed that's sympathetic to the right. Another bill gets passed that's sympathetic to the left, and this illusion of give and take is maintained perpetually. While no real progress is made on either side. It's something that you can liken to the trench warfare of World War One, where one side would gain 20 yards, dig in, form a trench there, and then a couple days later they'd be beat back, only to beat back the other side, back to the original starting point. No ground is being made. This political system is completely impotent. It cannot, in my opinion, produce any real substantial resolution for men. And no matter how charismatic or quick talking, no matter how much your politician says what you want to hear, like in Ron Paul's case, eventually they all sell themselves out and join the party. I guess that's all I really have to say for now. Thanks for listening.